It's been such a long time since I've done this. I did this possibly a couple of weeks ago, and then I deleted all the videos because they were awful. Hi guys, I'm Leanne, and today I thought I'd bring you a little book unhaul. As you may know, I am very happy to get rid of books and to DNF books. I've amassed quite a few books that I just don't want, so I'm going to give them to charity, or I'm going to give them to Danielle. So I'm just going to get started, really. The first book I have is Linger by Maggie Stiefvater. This is the second book in the Wolves of Mercy Falls series, and it's a young adult fantasy book. The reason why I'm getting rid of this is because I read the first one, Shiver, years and years and years ago. My friend lent it to me, and then I found this cheap in a supermarket, so I thought, why not? Let's carry on the saga. Why am I getting rid of it? Too much romance. I like a little bit of romance if it's done well, but these books are just, the main theme is the romance, and that's just doesn't cut it with me. I mean, I loved the wolves because in this book there are sort of werewolves or shapeshifters, whatever you want to call them, and in the winter they turn into the wolves, and in the summer they turn back into humans, and I just thought that idea was so good. But the relationship between one of the wolves, Sam, and the girl, Grace, is just really weird. It starts off with her being very obsessed with the wolves, and one wolf in particular, which is Sam, and then it kind of turns into a romance from there. And it was just really weird, and yeah, I'm not going to read it again. So I'm giving this to Danielle because she's got the first book. The next book I'm going to unhaul is Chris Carter's One by One. This is the fifth book in the... I keep forgetting this. This is the fifth book in the Robert Hunter series, and this is a sort of crime thriller. Yeah, the reason why I am unhauling this is because I read the first book on my phone and it was just terrible. The character was just basically a Gary Stu. He was perfect, you know, he'd graduated from his university or whatever early, he could solve pretty much every crime, he was smart, he was handsome, yada yada yada, and I just couldn't get through it. I DNF'd it. But I really liked this one. I really liked this one. I mean, I'm a big fan of crime thrillers, and this one was just right up. Basically, an anonymous caller phones up and says, oh, look at this website, and basically people are voting on how someone dies. And I just thought that was a really interesting concept, and it was creepy as hell. I think I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. But yeah, I don't know. I might take this out of the unhaul pile. It's just because the first one was so terrible. So I'm thinking if I read this again, then I'll just think it's terrible. I'll just see all of those traits and think, oh yeah, there's that smart, beautiful, amazing guy. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe you'll see me, you know, reading it in a wrap-up. Reading it in a wrap-up? You'll see me talking about it in a wrap-up again. But I don't know. The next book is Adaptation by Melinda Lo. This is a YA science fiction novel, and I was really stoked to read this. I mean, this has been on my radar for a while, mainly because it has a bisexual protagonist, and dude, I'm all for that. I'm all for that. Representation, please. But for me, this was just, it was a mess. It was a hot mess. Like, the characters, they didn't know what was going on, you know? So I didn't know what was going on, and things just seemed to be going all over the place. So the story is about Reese, and she is just coming back from a mathleathon, that'll do, mathleathon, with her friend David, who she also has a crush on, and some strange things start happening. Birds start plummeting from the sky, and then planes start plummeting from the sky. And so her, David, and her math teacher, they take they take a car, and they're trying to travel home, and lots of crap happens, and Reese and David end up in a car accident, and when they both wake up, they're in some kind of hospital. So, I mean, it was interesting. It's like, okay, what's going to happen next? But after that, it was just like, so, what? What's going on? Sorry? Who's this? Aliens? They live amongst us? What? And I was just like, yeah. No. I know there's a sequel, and I know there's an e-novella, but I am just not interested in reading it. I think I will try Melinda Lo's Ash and Huntress, because, to be honest, that sounds more up my alley. The next book I'm going to unhaul is Rainbow Rowell's Carry On. I mean, I'm very reluctant to, because look how beautiful this book is. I mean, it cost me quite a lot at the time, but I just don't care about it. If you don't know, Carry On is the story of Simon Snow and Basilton Pitch. Yeah, that's his name. And if you've read Fangirl, you know it's the sort of story series in that the main character, Kath, writes about in her fanfiction. And this was just the sort of like, I assume the last book, like everything shoved together in the last book. So this story is about Simon Snow and Baz and what happens in the last book that Kath is so obsessed with, that's coming out soon. And to be honest, it was just a rush. Like, I enjoyed it at the time. I didn't mind that there were references to things that I had no clue about. Like, they'd go, oh yeah, do you remember last year we fought the demon-headed troll of Nightwatch? You know, and I'd be like, I don't remember that, but cool, that's nice that you did that. And, I mean, the female characters, I loved them. They should have got more airtime. It was just like a stupid love story between Simon and Baz, and it didn't even make sense, because Simon was like all gooey over Baz, but Baz was like, I hate him, he's such a dick. And then suddenly Baz was like, actually I really like him. Or was it the other way around? Was Simon being a dick and Baz was all gooey? I think Baz was all gooey, actually, and Simon was the one that was like, yeah, Baz is a dick, don't really like him. And then suddenly they were making out, and I was just like, this is the worst romance I've ever read about. To be honest, I cared more about Agatha and Penelope and the goat herd. What was her name? I liked her. She was great. And then stuff happened. But yeah, for me, Rainbow Rowell, I've read quite a few of her books. Only her young adult books, mind, because her adult ones don't even interest me. But they just seem to be going downhill, and yeah, that's why I'm unhauling this. The next book I'm unhauling is The Neverending Story by Michael Ende. This is a middle grade fantasy, and I've been wanting to read this for a while, ever since it came out. No, not ever since it came out. Ever since I found out that it was a book. I watched the film when I was younger, and I absolutely adored it and watched it so many times. So yeah, high expectations going into this, and they were not met. I'm going to be doing a 60-second review of this, so I will not talk too much about, I won't talk about why I don't like it at all. You can wait for that. But yeah, it was super disappointing and super drawn out. So yeah, the next book is The Monogram Murders by Sophie Hannah, writing as Agatha Christie, or writing for Agatha Christie, I don't know. And this is one of the latest Hercule Poirot novels, so that's obviously a murder mystery novel. I didn't even read this. I got given it by my auntie, which was very nice of her. And yeah, I heard so many bad things about it. I know Lorna from Suddenly Lorna, I think she talked about this and she said it was disappointing, and Hercule Poirot was totally different from what she recognised. So I thought, you know what, I've got too many books to read, and I'm not going to read something that, you know, bastardizes Hercule Poirot. I love that guy, he's amazing. So yeah, that's why it's in the unhaul pile. This one is I Am Number 4 by Pittacus Law. This is a young adult science fiction. Apparently I don't like young adult science fiction. This is a story of John Smith, I think they call him. Yeah, John Smith. And he is an alien, and his home planet was destroyed, and the Mogadorians, which are the bad guys, the bad aliens, They are trying to track down the children of the, I think they're leaders, or basically just the children, and he is obviously one of them, but they have to be killed in a certain order, 1 to 9. So, you know, you have to kill 1 before you can kill 2, before you can kill 3, etc, etc. And I read this a really, really long time ago. And I've also watched the film, hence why I've got the beautiful Alex Pettifer film cover. But yeah, for me, I don't really remember. I read this such a long time ago that I don't really remember what's gone on. I don't remember if I like the plot or the characters or anything, and it just, I don't see myself picking up the second book. I keep saying, oh, I'll do it, but I'm not going to do it. I mean, if I want to, I've got the book on iBooks, so maybe in the future I might pick up the second book, but for now I am unhauling this. Okay, so the next book is Rainbow Rowell's Eleanor and Park, and yep, another Rainbow Rowell. This is a YA contemporary, and it's about a girl called Eleanor and a boy called Park. And Eleanor has a lot of crap at home that I really identified with, which is why I enjoyed this novel so much at the beginning. And obviously Park, he's Asian American and he struggles with that, and, you know, bullying and being a loner, etc, etc. So Eleanor and Park, they're both loners, and they sort of come together, and then there's a little romance, and it's lovely, and I really gushed about it in the beginning, and then since then I've just been hearing a lot of people criticising it and making really fair points on it, that there is a lot of racism in this book against Park, and the fact that they other him. Park talks about, and there's a lot of internalized racism as well. Park talks about the fact that, oh, Asian women are so beautiful, and there's always people talking about beautiful Asian women, but there's no one that talks about beautiful Asian men, and it's just like, what? And Eleanor just describes it in such a weird way that just focuses on his race rather than him as a person. So for me, hearing about that and thinking about that, it just makes me not want to read the book again, and it just, you know, makes me supremely uncomfortable. And honestly, I just think, yeah, it's not that good. I can't sit through all of that crap for the little glimmer of hope in there that it is a good book kind of thing. So yeah, that's why I'm unhauling Eleanor and Park. The next book I'm unhauling is Charlaine Harris's Gravesite. This is the first book in the Harper Connelly series. I want to say it's the Harper Connelly series. Anyway, this is about Harper and her brother Tolliver, and Harper was struck by lightning. I keep looking over there for some reason. Harper was struck by lightning, and she can now sense where the dead are. So obviously her and her brother go around helping people out, finding their dead, or missing, or whatever. And I've read this twice, really enjoyed it, but I just don't see myself picking up the next book. I keep thinking I should, but I've got more books that I really enjoy that I do want to pick the second book up, so yeah, sorry, paranormal fantasy. The next book I'm unhauling is Ali Smith's The Accidental. If you saw my wrap up, I think it was my last wrap up, you'll understand why I unhauled this. And this is a contemporary. I mean, I want to love Ali Smith, so I'm definitely going to try her again, but this just wasn't the one that I wanted. I mean, I read The Story of Antigone, which was fantastic, it was funny, but I don't know if it's because she was writing for children, but I just didn't get that sense of humour or anything I got from The Story of Antigone in this book. And it was just, yeah, creepy at some points, and just not what I wanted, so that's why it's going in the pile. Another book that I read recently and that I'm unhauling is Persepolis by Marjane Satrapi. If you saw my wrap up, I think it was the one with Ali Smith, I'll link it down below. You'll see why I unhauled this as well, but I will briefly say that this is Marjane Satrapi's, this Okay, this is a story about Marjane Satrapi's childhood in Iran and her subsequent return when she goes off to live somewhere else. I can't quite remember where it is. And I really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed it. Unfortunately, the writing is really, really small, so that kind of sort of dulled my enjoyment of it a little bit. Some of the things and themes I didn't quite understand, but I mean, I think it's an important read. I think it's something that everybody should read. It was funny and amazing, and I just really enjoyed it, but like I said, the writing was super hard to read at times. It was so small, and I think I want to give someone else a chance to read it, if you know what I mean. I don't think it's something I'm going to reread again. I think it's something that's going to stay with me, but I'm not going to reread it again, and that's why it's going in the Unhaul pile. I mean, you know, I might at some point get the bigger versions. I think they're split into 2 volumes, but they're bigger and they look beautiful. But I don't know. It's something that I've read once and I've experienced it, and yeah, that's it. Okay, so let's try something I've never done before, and this is, oh Jesus, holding up my pile of books. Normally I don't do this because 1, I find it really cheesy, and 2, my arms are tiny. So yeah, this is my pile of unhauled books. Let me know if you've unhauled any of these, or if you've read any of these and want to counter my arguments. Not that I made many arguments, I don't think. Anyway, but yeah, if you want to discuss books, etc, etc, comment down below, and yeah, have a great day, guys. Bye. Ugh. Ow. Ow. Why is it so hard to start? Like, get started. It's just like, you can do it, and then once you're doing it, it's like a, I don't know what this is. Let's get rid of this footage.